Yum, yum!
Well, hello everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Pixel Fondue. My name's Chris. A little strange. This is nothing to do with pixels. The only thing to do with pixels is that I'm recording it digitally. Uh, Here's a little sketchbook I've got here. Sorry, I can't get it this way because I don't draw that way. I kind of still draw kind of this way. I don't draw like that. So you're going to get part of it and out of it. Uh, Interesting enough, this right here, that's what says book. This here is about paper. These two characters right here is about cowhide, right? Cowskin paper book, right? Cowskin paper book, right? It roughly translates into craft paper or sketchbook, right? It's kind of vague, right? But it's this right here means cow. That means like hide or skin. This one here means paper. Right here, this is a very generic one for book, right? But anyway, inside, this is old school stuff, right? I've never had a problem with this running out of a battery. The battery's never been dead in one of these, right? Never once. I've never had to plug this thing in, and they're always available. Just reach out and grab it. I don't have to have a wire. I don't have to have anything charged up. I just need a little bit of light and a place to sit, right? But anyway, I'm just going to show you a couple of things about what I think is the importance of sketching as an artist. Sketching is about ideas, right? These are not final pieces. These are ideas. This is your journal of thoughts, your visual thoughts, right? Over here on this page, oh, here, again, this has never been empty, right? If it goes too small, I can get another one pretty quickly. I never have to charge this. This is always working, right? It always works. Worst thing that happens is I break a lead and I have to pick it apart with my fingernail. And again, this is always working. I never have to plug it in. It's kind of an interesting old school thing. You don't have to plug it in. I'll say that a couple more times through this, right? So here's some just sketches, right? Here in Taiwan, out in Southeast Asia and Asia in general, you got a lot of these scooters, right? So I was drawing some scooters. I see these things almost every single day, all day, right? So I started drawing some of these ideas out about, well, the tortoise and the hare, right? I thought, well, instead of having them fighting over a contest, I had this idea that they were working together, right? Got the little tortoise up here on the front of the scooter having fun going fast, and the hare having fun with them, right? And I kind of got this idea about a little a gecko kind of on the back of this, right? I took what amounts to these two sketches, and I did more of a digital sketch in Manga Studio 5. I'll show those a little bit later, right? And I'll edit that in so you guys can see where this ended up going, right? But I had some ideas, so I kind of got them out real quick. Little cute little rabbits, things like that, ha ha ha, right? But you got to get your ideas out. Over here, got some more things. All right. Over the last couple months, I've been reading James Clavell's Asian novels. I've been reading Taipan and what was it? Gaijin. One was dealing with China and the other one dealing with Japan. So I had a lot of that on my mind. So you're going to see where these things go in a couple of pages, right? Had little ideas for, all right, be careful this time, right? Got this one tree, and it was kind of a little play on kind of an Adam and Eve thing that maybe if you don't have as much to play with, you might be a little more careful with what you've got, right? A little environmental message, right? So I did a couple little sketches of how these might work out. This is a little globe and a different kind of tree sitting on top, right? These things here, same idea. But I kind of thought this was kind of neat. You know, I got the two figures here on the sides just sitting there in space. Right? You can see a couple more ideas there. Some of the samurai thing and these swords that you'll see a lot more of this coming in the next couple pages. Right, again, sketching, very good ideas. It helps you minimize, right? A long time ago, I would spend a lot of time trying to do detail, 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 and now I've gotten older, I've tried to go the other way. I've tried to do how much can I say with as little as possible, right? trying to be brief and quick, right? That's what sketching helps you do. You can see some of this here, right? Just quick little lines, right? There's the hand, right? All that is just 2 lines. A little ponytail, just a line back. Got a nice little gesture kind of happening here with her, right? And again, some of it's just visual gibberish. Some of it's a little bit more focused. You can see how I got this little egg shape and I wanted to put a head inside of it. Got some little hairs going on. All right, I got a little bug thing here going on too, right? I've had this in my head before. And again, you see these little samurai and these little sword things. I thought was a really cool ideas, right? So I did a little bit of research on the line, kind of looked at some older style clothing, things like that, so I can have something to go with, right? These are some of the students from school. I saw them in my head and I was kind of getting them out. Kind of a little ghost figure. If you get really in on this stuff, it's just scribbles. Here's some other things. I wanted to get up in here and I wanted to break it down. Just something really quick, just some triangles to get some shapes, right? I find I can get a lot of balance when I break things down. I get too detailed too quickly, I can kind of, the drawing can break down quickly. And if you get a lot of detail in certain places, you can get kind of attached to it, and sometimes you don't want to quit. You don't want to just say, okay, it's time to stop, time to move on, right? These sketches are quick. They're designed to get an idea out and then move, right? Draw, move, draw, move. Don't spend a lot of time on one thing. Now, you can spend a lot of time on one idea, but get as many out as you can, right? You can see some of this happening here. I've had this little stylized face in my head for many years now, right? Here's my little yin-yang character. I thought it was kind of an interesting idea on that. Little chubby guy. So, next page. Now, these here were little ideas I've been trying to go through, and I've shelved it for now, but I got some of it worked out, but I'm just not sure. There's some, I'm still struggling with trying to get a consistent look on this, right? The Z works good, right? A Z I can turn into the N, the Z, N turns into a Z, but I'm still working out the details on the E. I can't really get this working out too good. Some of them work better than others, right? You can see some of these down here. I'm starting to get it, but it just doesn't read quite well, right? I'm still struggling with it, still working on it. I got another page here that came out, or I was first struggling on it, getting certain ideas out. Again, the idea here is not to spend too much time on one thing. You know, get the marks down, be done with it. Don't get too invested in everything, right? When you're young, you got this idea that everything's got to be a masterpiece, that I need to have my signature on, and it needs to be a perfect thing. I got to finish it. I got to make it best, make it detailed, make it, well, you know, that's all good and dandy, and sometimes it's very necessary. But if you're using just a sketchbook to get ideas out, just move on, right? Get the idea out, move on. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? You don't have a lot of time invested, right? Get that out of the way. Over here, just some more things kind of coming together. This is kind of just a gibberish drawings, right? You see a little bit of this stylized dress going on here. If you look carefully in here, it's just little triangles all together. Got a little foot over here. This was just kind of an experiment page. Let's go over here. Getting a little bit better. I started to break things down a little bit, trying to get an idea for, get me down here so you can see. All right, just getting some ideas out of proportion. I don't care. It's okay. Okay with me. Just working with some triangles and trying to get simple things done quickly. You can see this right here. The way this guy's leg comes up, little hand here, just a head. There's the foot coming off the ground. Just trying to get some motion, some simple things going on. Just playing with some ideas here, right? You can see this here a little bit, right? It's a pretty dynamic little sort of kung fu. The foot's out here, the hand's balancing out, counterbalanced out here, kind of looking this way. Again, I like this idea of this little hat, these little triangle hats right here, pretty cool. Move over a little bit. Got only a couple more pages to go, a few more minutes. I started working out this triangle thing again here, right? And the triangle started to show up. I started to want to experiment with just getting it out quickly. right? Without having to noodle things too much. Starting to get some figures going. There's that same idea. Oh, this word here is shan. That's actually means mountain. That's Chinese for mountain right there. Those things, that right there means mountain by itself. I'm starting to get some of this idea, some good gesture work, some balance with these swords and things. And it's starting to come together a little bit here. I started to experiment a little bit with the kind of shoe boots things they got. They tie them down. They're pretty cool. They look comfortable. Right? I started to work it a little bit more, right? Again, I was reading those books, so I've had this on my mind, so it's coming out in these sketches. This means da, means big. This is shui, means water. When I was looking at it, I was thinking about these, got this, maybe a juggler, maybe an entertainer juggling eggs, right? I had a maybe giant egg or something, I don't know, it's eggs. And I started to think about, oh, maybe he's juggling little balls of water, something more like a fantasy thing. You can see that coming here. Here's a little quick little exercise right there, right? Just trying to get an idea for motion, right? I wanted things to have an X, very stylized, right? I don't got a lot of time invested in it, so I can just do it, move on, right? Move it and get going, right? I like this idea. I think this is going to come out somewhere. I don't know where, but it's going to come out somewhere, right? This shui, this word for water, and this word for water right here comes here. To me, it looks like a stylized man and a woman dancing. It's not, but that's what it looks like to me. This is the woman. She's arched back. Her legs are coming out here. Man's got his arm around her. This is the man's head up here. This is his foot. This is his arm coming up, counterbalancing. It's like they're dancing or something. Here's a little hand, forearm, just a couple little lines to get the idea going. Same thing here. I didn't want to invest a lot in these hands. Let's see, move over here a little bit. Stylized little elegant lady's leg. Just some good shapes, some thick lines, some thin lines put together gives a good little contrast, right? Thick and thin, thick and thin. Some little wing things. There's wings come out of my stuff periodically. It's not uncommon in artists and dreamers' ideas. Yeah, just some legs, looking at some planes with the knees and the legs came. I thought this one worked pretty nice. Some giant hands, but I don't mind. Moved out a little bit, and I don't know why. I don't know how this came out. I don't know. It jumped out, so I dropped it out. And again, there's a couple of these little mermaid things. I have no idea where those came from. They just fell out of the head, right? Some scary hands. A little fat guy walking away. Here's a fat guy pointing. There's a little Zen guy in the middle meditating in this little chunk of rock. And then it started to get a little bit tighter, I think. I started to get some ideas down, and they started to look a little better, right? Get that out of there. I got a fan going, so it's blowing things around. Again, I like this guy. Nice and balanced. Shoo. The legs are all out of proportion, but for me, I don't care. I think it looks all right. Little couple here behind the a moon, put a little raven on it. There's a little top hat guy. That looked nice. But I think overall, this guy right here, I'm going to try to move this up so you can see it a little bit. Hopefully, it'll zoom in a little bit on us. You see this guy right here? That's him right there. This is definitely going to come out somewhere. That's a really nice balanced gesture draw. Got that katana coming up overhead. Probably shorten this one up a little bit, but it's got a really good motion here. I really like this one. But it's real simple. Look, it's just triangles and lines connecting triangles. These started to come out pretty good. I kind of noticed Stephen King's It is coming out again. Some sort of a reboot, remake. So I had a little clowns on my ideas, so these guys came out. Again, here's another quick one. Same idea here. And some of these little trees point out. I have these things come out in my head periodically, right? Falls out. Move over a little bit and starting to get a little bit more refined here as I'm starting getting a little closer to an idea. It's like these two right here. I think this is going to come out somewhere. I like this idea, right? It's pretty nice. And again, if you're just looking, they're not too much. Again, I don't want to invest too much time in a sketchbook right now, right? Can if you want, and sometimes I do, but overall, I want to do things quickly and then move on to another page. Stylized boots, these little shoe things they tie on. There's my little yin yang guy. I like that guy. I've got a bug head going on. You've seen some of that project maybe, so that's what fell out. And the last one I think is right here. Oops, let me get this out of the way. Right? That same idea, these little samurai kind of Japanese sort of a katana wielding things, right? Up here, kind of an ogre looking guy. These guys, I kind of like this one too, real stylized. Just little quick little hands if you're looking carefully, right? That might be a little too close. If you look, those little thumbs on that guy right here, that's just a little mark of the pencil, whoop, and it's done, right? You can see some of this right here. I like that hat. The hat and the face and the shadow coming across that face. But as you see, you just gotta do it. All right, sketchbooks are easy. Like I said, a sketchbook, I never need to plug it in. And as long as I've got it handy and I have one of these, I think they call it a pencil. I also use one of these. One of those kneaded erasers are very needed, right? Again, I've never had to plug this in. I've never had to recharge this. And they last a real long time. Anyway, if you don't draw, maybe you want to, just go ahead and start. Get one of these, get a book, get something to draw on. It can be big, it can be small, but a pencil, a book with some paper, and an eraser, and if you got some fingers maybe. I've seen people draw with their mouth. If they're a little handicapped, they can do it with their mouth and do some beautiful work. Nothing's stopping us with this. It's cheap, and they're usually readily available. You can go somewhere to buy a computer. You can probably find an art store around somewhere. All right, well, that's about it. Take it easy, bye.
Yum, yum!